Welcome. If you are a Chief Human Resources Officer, Chief People Officer, or an HR leader who is serious about the future of your function, this guide was built specifically for you. What you are about to see is not a generic AI overview. It is 50 ready-to-use Claude AI prompts, mapped across 8 core human resources functions, designed to save your organization over $1 million every single year. 50 prompts, 8 functions, 30+ AI tools, 1 clear roadmap. Let us get straight into it. Here is the full picture at a glance. We have organized these 50 prompts across 8 human resources functions, and for each one, we have mapped out both the recommended AI tools and the estimated annual saving you can expect. Function 1. Recruitment and Talent Acquisition, 8 prompts, saving $180,000 per year. Function 2. Onboarding, 5 prompts, $40,000. Function 3. Learning and Development, 7 prompts, $120,000. Function 4. Performance Management, 7 prompts, $130,000. Function 5. Employee Engagement and Retention, 7 prompts, and this is the big one, $280,000. Function 6. Human Resource Administration and Compliance, 6 prompts, $90,000. Function 7. Workforce Planning and Analytics, 5 prompts, another $90,000. And Function 8. Compensation and Benefits, 5 prompts, $70,000. Add those up and you have a conservative, benchmark-backed savings model totaling over $1 million per year. Let us go through each function in detail. Recruitment is one of the highest cost and highest risk areas in any human resource function, and it is one of the areas where AI delivers the fastest return. Let me walk you through the 8 prompts on this slide. Prompt 1 asks Claude to write a bias-free, inclusive job description, replacing a task that typically takes 3 hours with one that takes 15 minutes. Prompt 2 scores a CV against your specific criteria and gives you a structured advance, bold, or decline recommendation. Prompt 3 generates 10 competency-based interview questions with ideal answer indicators, ready to use immediately. Prompt 4 drafts a warm, professional rejection email, the kind that actually preserves your employer brand. Prompt 5 analyzes multiple CVs and returns a ranked shortlist in minutes, not hours. Prompt 6 writes a personalized LinkedIn sourcing message for passive candidates, specific, compelling, and nothing like a template. Prompt 7 builds a structured 30, 60, 90-day recruitment plan for filling multiple roles. And Prompt 8 drafts a legally sound, engaging offer letter. The tools we recommend for this function include Greenhouse AI, HireVue, Textio, GoodTime, and Eightfold AI, all integrating directly with Claude. The combined saving from this function alone, $180,000 per year. Poor onboarding is one of the most expensive silent costs in human resources. Research consistently shows that 25% of new hires leave within their first 90 days, and the cost of each departure is enormous. These 5 onboarding prompts are designed to fix that. Prompt 9 creates a full 30-day onboarding plan, daily milestones for week 1, weekly milestones through to day 30, and success metrics built in from the start. Prompt 10 writes a personal Chief Human Resources Officer's welcome email that sets the cultural tone from the very first communication. Prompt 11 generates a complete pre-boarding checklist so every new starter arrives on day 1 fully set up and ready to contribute. Prompt 12 creates a 90-day onboarding survey to measure the experience and identify gaps. And Prompt 13 drafts a practical first week guide for managers, because managers are the single biggest variable in onboarding quality. The tools here include Lena AI, Rippling, Workday, and Microsoft Viva. Estimated annual saving, $40,000, driven primarily by reduced 90-day attrition and a 30% improvement in new hire time to productivity. Here is a statistic that should concern every learning and development leader. The average completion rate for generic corporate training content is 20%. 1 in 5 people finish what you paid to create. AI changes that number dramatically. Personalized learning paths achieve completion rates of 80% and above. These 7 prompts transform how you design, deliver, and measure learning. Prompt 14 designs a personalized 6-month learning path for any role, with monthly milestones and built-in measurement. Prompt 15 creates a skills gap analysis framework that identifies both what your team needs today and what it will need in 2 years. Prompt 16 writes smart learning objectives that connect directly to business outcomes, not just content consumption. Prompt 17 generates a complete 5-module course outline in hours, not weeks. Prompt 18 analyzes training feedback and gives you prioritized design recommendations. Prompt 19 writes a compelling board-ready business case for any learning investment. And Prompt 20 creates 20 micro-learning nudges for daily delivery, each one 3 minutes to read. Tools: Degreed, Synthesia, LinkedIn Learning AI, Articulate AI, and BetterUp. Net annual saving after tool costs, $120,000. The average manager spends 210 hours per year on performance administration. 210 hours of their time not spent leading, coaching, or delivering results. These 7 prompts reclaim that time and improve the quality of every performance conversation in your organization. Prompt 21 writes a balanced, specific performance review that takes 20 minutes instead of 3 hours. Prompt 22 generates 5 smart objectives for any role, with targets, support requirements, and success measures. Prompt 23 drafts a legally sound performance improvement plan with clear targets, support structures, and timelines. Prompt 24 summarizes a 360 feedback report, cutting a 3-hour analysis down to 20 minutes. Prompt 25 creates a calibration guide for managers to ensure fair, consistent, and defensible rating decisions. Prompt 26 writes a manager script for difficult performance conversations, the conversations most managers avoid precisely because they do not know how to start them. And Prompt 27 designs a complete performance management framework balancing continuous feedback, quarterly check-ins, and annual reviews. Tools: Lattice AI, Culture Amp, BetterWorks, Workday Performance, and 15.5. Annual saving, $130,000. This is the most financially impactful section in the entire guide. $280,000 in annual savings, driven by something that is entirely preventable: avoidable employee turnover. Here is the cost reality. Replacing an employee costs between 50 and 200% of their annual salary. For a 1,000-person organization at 15% voluntary turnover, that is $7.3 million walking out the door every year. AI can reduce voluntary turnover by 10 to 15%. That is the difference these 7 prompts make. Prompt 28 analyzes pulse survey results and gives you the top 5 engagement risks, their root causes, and immediate actions. Prompt 29 writes a retention risk assessment for any team, with a 5-point intervention plan and the ROI of acting versus not acting. Prompt 30 creates a 3-tier employee recognition framework: peer, manager, and organizational. Prompt 31 drafts a transparent all-staff communication for any major change, the kind that builds trust rather than eroding it. Prompt 32 designs a 6-month well-being program across 4 dimensions. Prompt 33 produces an exit interview analysis report that turns individual departures into systemic insight. And Prompt 34 creates a manager effectiveness survey, because managers are the #1 driver of voluntary attrition. Tools: Vizier, Culture Amp, Microsoft Viva, Bonusly, and BetterUp AI. Employment law compliance costs U.S. companies $130 billion annually. And manual monitoring misses an average of 3 legislative changes per month per jurisdiction. These 6 prompts address the most legally exposed and administratively intensive area of human resources. Prompt 35 reviews employment contracts and flags non-compliant clauses, explaining the risk, citing the legislation, and suggesting amended wording. Prompt 36 drafts any human resources policy in plain English: purpose, principles, responsibilities, and escalation process, compliant with your jurisdiction. Prompt 37 creates a GDPR-compliant employee data processing notice, covering what data is collected, why, how it is used, and every employee right. Prompt 38 writes a disciplinary hearing script, structured, fair, and legally defensible. Prompt 39 generates a monthly compliance checklist for organizations of any size. And Prompt 40 drafts a manager's guide to reasonable adjustments for employees with disabilities. An important note: always have your legal team review AI-generated compliance and contractual content before use. These prompts produce expert quality first drafts. Your lawyers provide the final sign-off. Tools: ADP Lyric, Rippling, Workday Payroll, ServiceNow HR, and Syndio. Annual saving, $90,000. The highest value Chief Human Resources Officers in 2026 are not the ones who report the past. They are the ones who predict the future, and these 5 prompts are what make that possible. Today, the average headcount report takes 3 days to produce. With AI analytics, it takes minutes. A pay equity analysis that used to require 2 weeks of manual work runs continuously in the background. The board human resources report that used to consume half a day compiles in 5 minutes. Prompt 41 analyses workforce data and produces a board-ready executive summary identifying the top 3 trends leadership needs to act on. Prompt 42 creates a full 3-year workforce plan, headcount projections, skills gap analysis, and a build-buy-borrow strategy. Prompt 43 writes the executive people dashboard narrative for your board pack, under 300 words, 2 risks, 2 positives, 3 actions. Prompt 44 designs a succession planning framework, from identification through to readiness ratings and governance. And Prompt 45 runs a scenario planning analysis for any major business change. Tools: Vizier, Workday Prism, Power BI Copilot, Eightfold AI, and Syndio. Annual saving: $90,000, with a strategic value that multiplies across every other function. Pay equity, benefits communication, and compensation benchmarking are 3 of the most time-intensive and strategically important responsibilities in the human resources function. These 5 prompts address all 3. Prompt 46 builds a pay equity analysis framework, methodology, statistical approach, board communication, and a gap remediation workflow. This is the prompt that helps you close pay gaps proactively rather than reactively. Prompt 47 writes a total reward statement narrative that makes every employee understand the full value of their package, not just their base salary. Prompt 48 creates a complete benefits open enrollment communication campaign, launch email, FAQ, manager talking points, reminders, and confirmation template. Prompt 49 drafts a salary benchmarking report structure comparing your pay against market percentiles and recommending band adjustments. And Prompt 50, the final prompt in this guide, generates a compensation philosophy statement, the foundational document that explains how and why your organization pays the way it does. Tools: Syndio, Workday Compensation, PayScale, Mercer, and Expensify AI. Annual saving: $70,000. Let us bring the full picture together. Looking at the savings bar chart on this slide, you can see all 8 human resources functions ranked by annual saving. Employee engagement and retention delivers the highest return at $280,000. Recruitment automation comes in second at $180,000. Performance and engagement contributes $130,000. Learning and development $120,000. Human resources admin $110,000. Payroll and compliance $90,000. Workforce analytics another $90,000. And compensation and benefits $70,000. Total annual savings: $1 million, conservative, benchmark-backed, and achievable within 12 months. Year 1 ROI: 340%. Payback period: under 4 months. On the right of your screen you can see the 6 headline metrics that belong in your board business case. This is not a theoretical model. These are the numbers being achieved right now by organizations that have deployed AI strategically across their human resources function. Before we close, here is exactly how to use these 50 prompts from today. Step 1. Copy the prompt. Open Claude AI or any Claude-powered human resources tool. Select the prompt that matches your immediate priority. Replace every bracketed placeholder with your real organization data. The more specific your inputs, the more precise Claude's output will be. Step 2. Iterate and refine. Use the first response as a working draft. Follow up with refinement requests. Make it more concise, add a country-specific legal disclaimer, rewrite it for a different audience. Chain prompts together, using the output of one as the context for the next. Step 3. Integrate and scale. Build these prompts into your AI human resources tech stack. Connect Claude to Workday, Lattice, or your HRIS via API to automate at scale and generate repeatable, measurable savings. And the golden tip: track the time you save on each prompt category. That time data becomes your board business case. Your $1 million AI human resources journey starts today. These 50 prompts are your toolkit. Use them in Claude, in ChatGPT, or in any large language model integrated into your human resources function. Each one is designed to free your team from administration and elevate human resources from an operational function to a strategic one. If this guide gave you value, and I genuinely hope it did, there is one thing I would ask you to do right now. Subscribe to the Top Professional Learning Academy YouTube channel. We publish in-depth practical guides on AI in HR, people analytics, HR leadership, and the future of the HR function, all built for senior HR professionals. The link is on your screen. Click it, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Your journey starts today. Best wishes.